Hey everybody, welcome back. We're in part 3 of Connected Cubes. So if you don't have this, you probably missed part 2. If you don't have anything, then you missed part 1. So go back and find part 1 and part 2. You get caught up with us, and then you'll have part 3 for Connected Cubes. I've been working on this drawing for a little while and just doing some shading and finishing of the background. And I'm just going to show you a couple of little hints for things that I've been doing to shade and finish up and show you how I'm doing that, and then I'll let you finish yours up. So when I'm working on the leaves for the trees, I'm using the idea of layering with my colors. So I'll start with something like this with a light green and just layer in that light green first, and when I'm doing the leaves, I'll also use the idea of texture and move my pencil around in kind of a circular way so that I get some texture into those leaves as well. Down here on the ones that are closer, I actually drew more of the individual leaves, or outlined them at least, with the black. But up here at the top, a lot of times I'll just do the light green and then maybe work a little dark green into there. And I'm still thinking about where the light source is coming from. So if we still decided the light was coming from the front and over here to the right, then I'm going to work this darker green onto the left side a little bit more. And I can also lighten it, okay, or give it a little bit of highlight by working some yellow onto the side that's nearer. And that yellow also acts to blend all those colors together and unify them a little bit. And then I like, for at least this type of drawing that we're doing here, to use my black color pencil and go in there and give it a little bit of an outline, which is essentially what I'm also doing with the actual tree, is just following the outline of the tree and then darkening in these things that I sketched in before, and trying to make the tree look like it has a sort of rough or bumpy texture by not making it completely smooth. And then these patches where the bark has been cut into, and making these other parts look a little bit rounded and curved, so it's like a cylinder, gives the tree a little more three-dimensional look. Okay, so depending on what kind of shape you've drawn, if it's some type of cylinder, this idea will work for you. You may have other things depending on what you've turned your connector into. When I'm finishing off, I add a little bit of light pressure and shade with some gray on the edges too, thinking about the light coming again from that right hand side, and that also helps to give me that three-dimensional look for the tree branches. And then a little bit of shading through here. And so that's really what I've done with the trees. As the connector enters into the cube, it's not a bad idea to think about shading it a little bit as it enters into that cube, and then it's a little bit darker on that side too. So you kind of get the idea. I don't need to probably finish up this whole thing for the video, but you have sort of an idea of what I've been doing there. In the background here, I thought about the horizon line, which you can kind of see here, and anything behind that horizon line doesn't really need to be three-dimensional in perspective, so to speak. It can just kind of be flat against the background, so the mountains work good here. And then I shaded in the sky with a really light blue, which probably doesn't show up super well on the document camera, but you'll have to take my word for it. And then I put a little lake here and added some green for the grass. I tried to follow along where I thought some shadows would land and make some darker areas on the grass here by adding some pressure. And then here on the rocks, I did the same kind of thing, is I made the right hand side lighter with the yellow, and then shaded with some orange and some brown and a little black to make that side a little bit darker, and keep that whole idea that there is a light source and there's a little bit of shading. So I can also add a little bit of shading to these trees up here with the black and add a little bit more shadow to it. So you can really fine-tune this and keep working on this for quite a while if you want to be perfectionistic about it. Depends on if you're excited about it and if you're having fun with it. Some people really enjoy the coloring. If you find it kind of meditative, put on some music or a podcast or something and just work on shading and coloring and relaxing a little bit while you do it. And it's kind of a good way to finish up any drawing. So I probably will continue to work on this a little bit and finish it up. So I've got a little bit more to do over here on this tree branch and these trees up at the top. But in general, I've got the main idea there. So probably at this point, it'll be okay for me to sign my name to my artwork and call it good for this lesson. So we worked with 1 point perspective and those projecting lines going to the vanishing point and the horizon line. We thought about making those connectors kind of cut through and follow all the way around. Tried to make something that was interesting, maybe a little surreal and more than real. So try it out. Hope you had fun with this lesson. Finish it up and we'll see you guys later. We'll work on something new next time. Okay, a little shorter lesson today, but just wanted to show you a few of those little tricks that I was doing to add the shading to the background. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.